I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. And I say to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I say to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow are so pretty in the sky. I can see them on the faces of the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? What they're really saying is, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than you and I'll ever know. And I say to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I say to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh yeah.
Hi, I am Reverend Rebecca Qualls, priest at the Center of Light in Huntsville, Alabama. When and wherever you are listening and watching, I wish you peace, I wish you joy and inspiration. If you need encouragement, ask for it. Look within. You will find it. I'm so full of joy and happiness today. We got the tent up. 11 of us met yesterday, and we worked in cooperation. We were led by President Tom Maples, who is an Aquarian president, and did such a fine job of leading us and making sure that the tent was right. You can't put that tent up unless it's right. And Tom insisted on it being right, and Alan insisted on it being right, and Richard Milton, who was with us. All of them worked in conjunction with each other and making sure it's right. I want to mention everyone that was here. It was Pama and Sue and Breezy, myself, Richard Milton and Ina, Delcy and Donnell and JD. And with all of that help, we were able to get it up in 6 hours. It looks beautiful. I could not stop looking at it yesterday. So we will be meeting in that tent next week as things progress. The second thing that makes me full of joy is that yesterday while I was working with Sue, I learned a story. You know, Sue is full of stories. Sue is mechanically minded, but the story that she has, you have to ask her about, because I will not do justice or even attempt to do justice. But she and her brother were a mile away from her home when she was 10 years old. She fell out of a tree. she hit a sharp object in the groin area of her left leg, and her brother was completely, he couldn't stand the blood because the blood was everywhere. She sewed her leg up with a needle and thread. She put 8 stitches in her leg. She told her brother not to tell her mother, but as soon as they got home, he told her mother. And she had to go to the doctor, and the story just continues from there. It's a lovely story. It made me really happy to learn about the determination, the perseverance, and doing what you have to do that is within her personality. Also, another reason that I am just full of joy is that I've planted a garden. Of course, I'm the gardener here. And I have a hill of watermelon, I have a hill of pumpkin, and I have a hill of cantaloupe. And so, like Wednesday of this week, the pumpkins came up. The pumpkin vines came up. And I was so happy. But the watermelon and the cantaloupe, you know, there just wasn't any sign of watermelon and cantaloupe. And I waited 2 more days, and then finally I says, okay, those seeds were old, those watermelon seeds were old. The cantaloupe seed was something that I had gathered from a cantaloupe 2 years ago. And so I said, I'm just going to buy me some more watermelon seed. So I planted them, and yesterday, the first batch of my watermelon seed showed its face. And that just, oh gosh, that made me so happy. And also, the cantaloupe in the afternoon showed its face. So I'm just really, really happy. Also, what I want to do is to encourage you in supporting us. And there are multiple ways that you can support us. And one of the ways is that you can help me in the garden. And I would love to have any help. You know, I saw the 11 people there yesterday, and I said, jealousy, get out of my heart. Because there were so many people there to help. And I would love to have any help in the garden. And if you can come, you can call me, tell me when you're coming, and we will work in the garden. Another way that you can support us is by using our technique of clearance in keeping the center and the grounds full of light and love. Call it in. You have the authority to call in love. You have the authority to call in light. And if you can keep this center full of light and love, it's a wonderful place to come. You will feel more at home when you're here. And then we ask that you continue sending your tithes. And you can send your tithes in multiple ways. You can donate online. You can send it in the mail, 4208 Holmes Avenue, Huntsville, Alabama, 35816. And I will say that if you live within a 50-mile radius, I will come and pick it up. And so there are many ways that you can support us here at the center. Last Monday, I spoke to most of the members in our directory on the phone. And no one is stricken with the virus, and we are absolutely in joy over that. There are some people that feel lonely, and I would love for you to take your directory and find the people that you don't know. Find the people that are on the periphery of your acquaintance and call them and show that you care about them and see what their needs are. I found one person like that, and interestingly enough, I did not know this person. I just knew her by the directory, and I called her, and she was feeling very lonely and isolated. So don't call them or call the people that are on the periphery and show them that you love them and that you care about them and that you really want to know them. Show them that there is blue skies and trees of green. In contemplating presenting this to you today, I was given the axiom of Hermes, as above, so below. I think now, in retrospect, it's a fine topic to talk about it, because I learned a lot. And I admonish you to learn a lot about as above, so below. What it did for me was that it made me see, or it let me see, that I am where I'm supposed to be, doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And that is such a great gift. But it was a surprise to me because I knew little about as above, so below. I found it a big stumbling block because, somebody was talking to me, asked me about what the topic was, and they said, well, are there going to be plants in heaven? And so that's a pretty big stumbling block because we have plants and we love plants here, but when you contemplate or you go into an alignment and you see about it, the joy of plants are still going to be there, but plants might or might not be there, It's the same thing that if you see a car on the outside, is there going to be vehicles in heaven? It gets crazy. So it's a stumbling block in ways that are hard to get over. To help me, I asked Reverend Willis Hoffpile in Louisiana when I talked to him this week. And I consulted Reverend Joy Cheshire about the axiom, as above, so below. And I was led to see that what happens on any dimension will affect all dimensions, higher and lower. We have as above, so below, and that's 2 levels, but theosophy has shown us the physical, the emotional, the mental, the astral, the soul, the buddhic, the atmic, and it goes on, you know. And each one of those dimensions represents something. And if you have something that's happening on any of those dimensions, it will affect all dimensions. So when something happens to you in the physical, look for it in the spiritual, and it will expand your understanding of it. Also, I was given some inspiration by the symbol of the center of light. We have two triangles coming in, conjuncting, with a circle in centering around that conjunction, and it states, with those two triangles, as above, so below. My references for this is, I consulted the Mystical Kabbalah by Dion Fortune, the Book of Tokens by Paul Forster Case, which is, it talks about it gives meditations on the different major arcana of the Tarot. I consulted, of course, the Judeo-Christian Bible, and there is a book in our library entitled Psychological Reflections, and it's a collection of thoughts by Carl Jung, and I'll be reading from that later on. Welcome, and I ask you to align, and in assisting us to align, we are so fortunate in having the Reverend Nancy Pendergraft to sing the great invocation.
From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men. The purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out. The purpose which the masters know and serve. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth.
To assist us in contemplating the axiom of Hermes, we're going to call in some light beings, and that will assist us. And I hope that you will feel the entrance of these light beings into your psyche, into your aura, into your home, as we discuss this. I call forth this flame and dedicated to Gautama Buddha. I call forth and dedicate this flame to Jesus Christ. I call forth and dedicate this flame to Dawakul. I call forth and dedicate this flame to Kuan Yin. I call forth and dedicate this flame to Hermes. I call forth and dedicate this flame to Raphael, who has the authority over this season of the year. I call forth and dedicate this flame to a healing ray that will go out through this center, through Huntsville, Alabama, the USA, and the world. I call forth and dedicate this flame to the diamond platinum ray, and I call forth and dedicate this flame to the center of light, to the center of light. And start out remaining in alignment. I would want to lead you in the decree entitled, "Let Matter Yield." And I want you to note, as we go through this decree, how it will not correspond to as above, so below, but explain it. I will, it's very easy to repeat the sentences. I will say the first sentence, and if you would or wish to, say it at home. Let matter yield to eternal life.
Let matter yield to eternal life.
Let creation vibrate in harmony with spirit. Let creation recognize the Creator. Let divine spirit burn forever. Let divine love rule now. Let divine will be now and forever. United in life, we are one. United in love, we are one. United in freedom, we are one. With God eternally, we are one. And now I want to read to you from Carl Jung concerning the axiom, as above, so below. Great innovations never come from above. they invariably come from below. Just as trees never grow from the sky downward, but upward from the earth. However true it is that their seeds have fallen from above. The upheaval of our world and the upheaval in consciousness is one and the same. Everything becomes relative and therefore doubtful. And while man, hesitant and questioning, contemplates a world that is distracted with treaties of peace and pacts of friendship, democracy and dictatorship, capitalism and Bolshevism, human spirit yearns for an answer that will allay the turmoil of doubt and uncertainty. And it is just people from the lower social levels who follow the unconscious forces of the psyche. It is the much derided silent folk of the land who are less infected with academic prejudice than great celebrities are wont to be. Now what I want to do is to consider the cube that we learned about in the Tarot. This is a symbol of the cube. It is not a cube, it's kind of a rectangle, but I want you to think of it as equal faces on all 6 sides. And as it is presented to us, the face that is presented is west, and then this one behind it is east and north and south. But what is pertinent to us today is what is the face above and what is the face below, and what is symbolized by the line that goes from the face above to the face below. I know that some of you have taken tarot classes. I was very lucky to take the tarot from Peggy Shanahan, Reverend Peggy Shanahan, several years ago. It was a 26-week class. And we learned about the cube, and we learned about how and what the symbolism of the major arcana is. So, as a test, if you wanted to call in, if this was a call-in show, you know, I would say, who can call in and tell me who is above, who is below, and what is the line connecting the two? But I'm going to tell you. The one above, the face above, is the magician. The number 1 card. It is the Beth, which means house. And if you see the card, you can see that the magician is standing in an arbor of green and red roses above and lilies and green below. In his right hand he holds a wand with his fingers all wrapped around that wand. It's a double-pointed wand. And with his left hand he is pointing downward. He is calling in life with the right hand and receiving it in the left hand and pointing downward. Now then, the face below is the high priestess. number 2 card, gimbal, which means camel. Her astrological sign is the moon. And she sits before a veil of nature, guarding the mystery and being the gatekeeper of the mystery behind the veil. You can see that she sits on a cube. This cube is the universe. In her heavens, the crown that she wears is the symbol of the sun and the symbol of the moon. The sun never changing, the moon always changing. On her chest is the equilateral cross that repeats the axiom, as above, so below. As within, so without. Now then, the line between above and below is the Fool, the 0 card. Alf. Alf means ox or bull. And of course, when we take the class, we see that the Fool is the one that makes the journey through the different major arcana. Also, in considering the axiom, as above, so below, I want to look at 2 more cards. And one card is the Hierophant, number 5. And you see the Hierophant sitting on a throne and his feet on the cube. We know it's the cube because there are 6 crosses on that cube representing the 6 faces of the cube. 2 are on his feet, 4 are on the floor. But what I want to bring to your attention is that his right hand has 2 fingers up and 2 fingers down. This symbolizes, as above, so below. God and man in the heavens, and God and man on earth. Now then, look at the devil card. The devil card is 1-5, 15. I is the name of the letter that it corresponds to the devil, and it means eye, the eye. And notice his right hand. His right hand is raised just as the Hierophant's hand is raised. But his fingers, all 4 of his fingers are going upward. This is the antithesis of that which is above, below, or as above, so below. On his palm of his hand, he has the sign of Saturn, which is a limiting sign. It is a ruling sign and limits. But the interesting thing is that it corresponds to the organ of the eye in man. And it lends us to think that the only thing that there is what we can see, what we can perceive. The devil does not perceive things that are not visible. He sits on half the cube, and that half is what we can see. The cube that the Hierophant is based on is the whole cube, that which we can see and that which we can't see, that which we know beyond the sight, beyond the perception of the human. Now I want to bring out the Judeo-Christian Bible and refer back to the Hierophant. Notice that the cube that he has his feet on also have the keys, the crossed keys, and that represents the kingdom of heaven. And Jesus is known for his teaching of the kingdom of heaven, has several parables that teach of the kingdom of heaven. He has different ways that you act when you know when the kingdom of heaven has been anointed on you. And the one that I want to read from today is Matthew 13:44. Again, the kingdom of heaven is likened to a treasure hid in a field, the which when a man hath found, he hideth, and for joy thereof goeth and selleth all he hath, and buys that field. Now then, there is a decree in our book that I want us to repeat. It's called the abundance of light. It was given to us by President Tom Maples and Chief Golden Light Eagle, who is the earthly head of the Star Knowledge Group. And notice how in this notice how this helps you understand the axiom, as above, so below. Abundance of love. I call forth in joyful trumpets an abundance of love from the great sinner Son through our very own star to earth and all its children. Love. Love and this true thought. Go to where there is more light. Follow that which has more joy. In closing, if it is within your desire, I would like for you to meditate on the Hermetic axiom, as above, so below. And if you have any insight, I would love to hear any input. Remember the cube and the taro. Remember the parables. We give thanks to the beings that have assisted us in this presentation and in this meditation. And we will close with the extinguishing of the flames and a song from the Reverend Nancy Pendergraft.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation,